My beloved child, if lately you have repeatedly sensed a very gentle restraint every time you were about to intervene in something, understand that I am telling you not to touch what has not yet been placed into your hands. I am glad that you paused long enough to listen, because in a world that constantly urges you to react, explain, and prove yourself, the stillness into which you are being led is an exceedingly precious lesson. Perhaps you thought you were becoming weak because you no longer wished to argue as you once did, or feared that slowing down would allow others to gain the advantage. But I want you to know that your hands are being held back, not because you are powerless, but because you are being protected from interfering too early in a process that is not yet complete. Some things become beautiful only when you allow them to unfold at the proper time. And some truths do not require you to chase after them in order to prove them, because time itself will bring them into the light more clearly than any defense ever could. I know you are fully capable of speaking about what you have seen. You have already arranged the explanations in your mind. You have imagined how you would confront the matter, how you would respond, and how you would put everything back into its proper place through your own strength. At times, you needed only to speak in order to expose deception, only to present evidence in order to defend your honor, or only to take one decisive action to change the entire situation. Yet just before that moment, an unfamiliar calm pulled you backward. You did not understand why you could not move forward, even though every argument told you that you should act. This was not cowardice, nor was it a sign that you had lost your courage. I was placing peace within your heart to prevent you from using a kind of strength that was not appropriate for the present moment. You often believe that everything left unfinished must be resolved immediately. But not every matter without a conclusion is beyond control. Some stories need to be left alone so that their true nature can reveal itself. Some people need to be given enough space for their actions to speak more clearly than everything you once tried to explain. If you step in too quickly, you may unintentionally shield the truth or allow others to shift attention away from what they did and toward the way you reacted. I am teaching you a deeper kind of wisdom. Having a voice does not mean you must always use it. Seeing something wrong does not mean you must confront it immediately. And not every door needs to be opened by your own hand. Sometimes the greatest victory comes when you know how to remain still in the right place. Keep your heart pure and allow what has already been set in motion to continue without being interrupted by your impatience. Your silence does not mean surrender. You are still observing, discerning, and preparing, while others may think you no longer have the strength to respond. I am building a firmer foundation within you. In the past, one misunderstanding could make you rush to explain yourself. One unfair glance could make you want to prove your worth. One rumor could keep you awake all night. But now you are learning to allow your truth to stand without continually asking others to acknowledge it. This is a sign of maturity. When you know who you are, you no longer need to chase everyone in order to correct the way they see you. Those who are sincere will recognize you through your consistency. Those who have chosen to misunderstand you will not change merely because you say more. I understand that silence can sometimes feel uncomfortable. There is still a part of you that wants everything resolved immediately so that your mind can rest. You want to know the outcome. You want to hear an apology. You want the truth to be acknowledged. And you want those who doubted you to see that they were wrong. But if you can only have peace after others change, then you have placed your peace in their hands. I do not want you to live that way. I am teaching you to find stability even while answers have not yet appeared. You do not need an admission from someone else in order to know that you were honest. You do not need the person who hurt you to feel remorse before you can move forward. Nor do you need every door to open immediately in order to believe that a good path still lies ahead. Remember that gentleness does not weaken your authority. A clear stream can wear away stone over time, not through noise, but through persistence. In the same way, the stillness within you is creating a strength that those who are accustomed to using pressure cannot understand. They may try to provoke you so that you return to your old self, because your angry reaction would help them avoid responsibility. They may say that you are afraid, that you have given up, or that you no longer have anything to say in your defense. But you do not need to correct every statement. Let your calmness testify to your growth. When you are no longer provoked by old traps, their power over you naturally disappears. Even so, silence does not mean that you must endure everything. I am not telling you to remain in a dangerous situation, nor am I asking you to stay silent when you need to protect yourself or someone else. True guidance always walks together with clarity. There is a time to step back, and there is also a time to establish clear boundaries. What I am telling you today is not to act merely because pain is pushing you. If you must speak, speak after anger has settled. If you need to leave, leave with clarity rather than revenge. If you need to confront something, do so with facts that can be verified, not with bitter words. When you act from peace, you will not have to regret what you said while your emotions were out of control. The things taking place beyond your sight will eventually help you understand why I once asked you not to interfere. Some knots are beginning to untangle on their own. Some intentions are gradually being exposed. Some relationships you believed were necessary are actually being separated from you in order to protect a new season. If you rush to rescue everything, you may preserve what was meant to end. If you force a door open too quickly, you may enter before you are ready. I know waiting is not easy, but delay can sometimes become the very space that helps you see what initial excitement concealed. Therefore, when you once again feel the urge to send another message, explain one more time, or chase after someone who is slowly moving away, pause and ask yourself, am I acting from peace or from fear of loss? That question will help you recognize what is controlling your decision. If there is chaos within you, wait a little longer. If you only want to be understood immediately, allow truth time to speak. If you are trying to hold on because you fear emptiness, remember that emptiness can sometimes become the place where something new is prepared. You do not need to touch everything merely to feel that you still have control. Maturity begins when you trust that not every outcome depends upon your intervention. My beloved child, continue preserving the stillness I am placing within you. Those who once considered your silence weakness will eventually recognize it as discipline. Those who thought you had surrendered will see that you were simply choosing a higher path, one where you no longer need to win through a louder voice, but through the endurance of dignity and truth. I am building within you a strength that is not easily provoked, manipulated, or directed by judgment. Be gentle without becoming fragile. Be patient without becoming passive. Remain quiet while staying alert. When the time to act comes, you will recognize it through a deep clarity, and your steps will no longer tremble. For now, allow what does not belong in your hands to remain in the hands of the one who sees the whole picture. I am still here, protecting your peace and teaching you that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is not touch what you have already been told to release. My beloved child, before a new door opens, what I want you to release is your doubt about your own worth. For many years, fear has repeatedly stood between you and good things, not because you lacked ability, but because you often stepped backward as soon as opportunity drew near. You became accustomed to wondering whether you were talented enough, worthy enough, or strong enough. At times, you even believed that blessings were reserved for others, while your portion was simply to continue waiting and enduring. But today, I want you to stop seeing yourself through failures, rejection, or the way others once treated you. Your value does not increase when someone recognizes it, nor does it diminish when someone turns away. You were loved before you were able to prove anything, and that truth must become the foundation of the step you are about to take. I know you are deeply tired. Some burdens have been carried so quietly that even those closest to you have not recognized them. They see you continuing to work, smile, and fulfill your responsibilities. But they do not see the nights when you had to pull yourself back to your feet after a long struggle. They do not know how many painful words you swallowed to preserve peace, how much of your own life you sacrificed to care for others, or how hard you fought not to become bitter after what you endured. But I saw it all. I saw every time you chose kindness while your heart was hurting. Every time you continued sowing what was good without seeing a result. And every moment when you nearly gave up but decided to take one more step. None of your sincere perseverance has been forgotten. Yet I do not want you to understand this as a transaction, as though enduring long enough would earn you a specific amount of money or a particular reward. Something deeper is taking place. You are becoming someone capable of receiving what is good without destroying it through fear. You are closer to change than you presently feel. Yet true progress does not always make a loud sound. Sometimes it is simply the fact that you no longer react the way you once did. It appears when you learn to rest without calling yourself useless, when you dare to say no to what exhausts you, or when you stop chasing people who have already decided not to value you. Your outer circumstances may not have changed greatly, but the way you face them has. That is the sign that a new foundation is being laid. Financial, professional, and other opportunities do not open merely because you repeat an affirmation. They often open through preparation, wise choices, discipline, and courage. I am not promising you that a check will fall from heaven after a specific deadline. I am reminding you that the ability to build a stable life is growing within you each day. If you are praying for financial change, open your heart not only to hope, but also to wisdom. Examine how you manage what you already have, which skills you can develop, and which practical opportunities you have overlooked because you believed you were not good enough. The door you have been waiting for may come through a job offer, an idea that needs to be developed, someone willing to collaborate, or one small decision that helps you escape an old pattern. Do not despise a humble beginning merely because it does not resemble the miracle you imagined. Many great restorations are built through ordinary steps: learning something new, submitting an application, creating a budget, stopping emotional spending, or daring to ask an experienced person for guidance. I will not take those steps for you, but I will give you the calmness to see clearly and the perseverance not to give up halfway. In the days ahead, you may notice unexpected moments of peace, an encouraging message, or an opportunity that lights something within you. Receive these things with gratitude, but do not turn every number, sound, or coincidence into a certain prophecy. What is healthy does not make you obsessively search for signs everywhere. True guidance makes you more alert, stable, and capable of making better choices. If something gives you peace while encouraging responsible action, it may be a reminder worth honoring. But if a message makes you afraid that you will lose a blessing because you did not comment, subscribe, or watch until the end. Step back. Divine love does not manipulate you through pressure, and your future does not depend upon how long you remain in front of a video. I do not measure your sincerity by the number of minutes you listen or the number of times you engage. You do not pass a test merely because you remain until the end of a message. You pass when what you hear becomes a healthy choice in your life. You may listen to hundreds of encouraging words and still return to diminishing yourself. On the other hand, one truth received deeply can transform the way you walk. Therefore, do not fear that missing a number or a sign will delay your blessing. What can truly delay you is continuing to hesitate before steps you already know you need to take, remaining in environments that drain you, or refusing to learn because you are afraid of failure. I want you to leave passivity behind and begin cooperating with your future through clear action. There is a part of you that still fears that if you hope again, you will be disappointed again. I understand why you keep your distance from joy. You trusted before and were hurt. You waited and received silence. You believed a door had opened and then watched it close before you. Therefore, whenever something good approaches, you both desire it and feel the urge to run. But do not allow old experience to determine the limits of the new season. You can move carefully, examine everything wisely, and still allow yourself to believe that life can become better. Hope does not require you to close your eyes to reality. Mature hope sees difficulty clearly while still believing that you can learn, change, and rebuild. I want you to begin by telling yourself one simple truth. You do not need to become perfect before you are allowed to move forward. You do not need to heal every wound before receiving an opportunity. Nor do you need to become someone who never feels afraid. Courage does not mean fear disappears. It means fear no longer decides for you. When an opportunity appears, examine it wisely instead of immediately searching for reasons to reject it. When you receive praise, accept it without instantly denying it. When someone wants to help you, do not assume that you are a burden. You have carried everything alone for so long that receiving support may feel uncomfortable. But a good life is not built through isolation. The wealth I desire for you is not limited to the amount of money in your account. It is also the peace that comes from no longer being controlled by debt or lack. The ability to care for those you love without destroying yourself. And the freedom to choose what is right instead of accepting everything out of desperation. When your finances improve, remain humble. Do not use success to prove your worth to those who once disregarded you. Do not turn money into a place of absolute security, because every outward possession can change. Let what you have become a tool for building, helping, and creating a well-ordered life. The greatest gift is not having more than someone else, but no longer being driven by scarcity within. Therefore, my beloved child, The decision before you is not whether you dare to accept a vague promise within 48 hours. The true decision is whether you will continue doubting yourself or begin living as someone who knows their worth. Choose to move forward even when you cannot see the entire road. Choose learning instead of self-condemnation, preparation instead of passive waiting, and openness to help instead of continuing to carry everything alone. When a genuine opportunity appears, it will not need to force you through fear. It will withstand examination, give you time to think, and lead toward healthy results. I do not want you to chase dazzling promises. I want you to become someone with clear eyes, diligent hands, and a heart that no longer denies its own value. Leave today with calmness. You do not need to search for 3 signs. Count every hour, or fear that a blessing will vanish because you did not perform an action online. What is meant for you will meet you through preparation, honesty, and appropriate steps. I have seen your perseverance, but now I want you to see it as well. Stop calling yourself a failure merely because the journey took longer than expected. Stop comparing your unfinished chapter with someone else's completed result. You are moving forward, even when your steps are slow. And when you stop treating doubt as the most trustworthy voice within you, you will realize that many doors were never locked. You simply stood before them for too long because you believed you had no right to enter. I want you to understand that as you become steadier, more peaceful, and more protective of your life, some people who were accustomed to your vulnerability may become uncomfortable. Yet, you must never allow unsupported assumptions to become fear ruling your mind. Perhaps you noticed an unusual look, a change in someone's attitude, or a few actions that made you uneasy. But wisdom does not allow you to immediately conclude that someone has secretly been planning against you for months. I do not want you to live continually looking around for enemies. I want you to learn the difference between what you have actually observed and the story anxiety may build from scattered details. You have matured. You know how to keep your living space in order, protect private information, and stop others from crossing your boundaries too easily. These are good things, but do not assume that every new habit was created to defend you from an invisible plot. Sometimes you clean because you need a healthier place to live. Sometimes you change your schedule because your body and mind desire stability. Sometimes you share less because you have learned that not everyone needs access to every part of your life. These changes are signs of maturity, not necessarily evidence that someone is collecting information or trying to harm you. I know there are experiences from your past that have made you sensitive to betrayal. After being used, you may interpret ordinary curiosity as intrusion. After being spoken against, you may hear a whisper and believe people are talking about you. After feeling unsafe, your mind may try to protect you by continually searching for danger. Do not be ashamed of this, but do not let it decide for you. Slow down, breathe, and ask yourself, do I know this, or am I afraid of this? That question will help you keep your feet upon the ground of truth. If a neighbor looks toward your window, that is not enough to prove they are watching you. If they water plants longer than usual, perhaps the plants simply need water or they want to spend time outdoors. If they are friendly one day and distant the next, they may be facing difficulties you know nothing about. Do not assign a frightening meaning to every small action. True discernment does not turn everything into a secret sign. It helps you observe calmly, wait for consistency, and act only when there are clear, specific, and verifiable facts. Even so, I am not telling you to ignore uneasiness. If you genuinely see someone entering a private area, taking things from your trash, photographing through your window, or repeatedly engaging in harassment, respond with clarity. Record dates and times. Preserve security footage if available. Tell someone you trust. And contact property management or the appropriate authorities when necessary. Do not confront someone alone while angry. Do not threaten them. And do not investigate in a way that places you in danger. Wise protection always includes evidence, planning, and the right support. You do not need to search for supposed professional manipulators, nor do you need to believe that someone hired a stranger or joined a secret group to interfere with your life. Such stories can cause anxiety to grow even when you have no way to confirm them. I do not want you to spend day and night connecting details until you imprison yourself in a world filled with threats. Darkness gains the greatest power when you believe what has not been proven and begin acting as though every suspicion were true. Light leads you in the opposite direction. Observe, verify, seek help, and preserve your peace. Do not use any number to seek protection or confirmation that you have received a blessing. No code can replace wisdom, and no comment determines how safe you are. What protects you in daily life is practical action, locking doors carefully, avoiding the public sharing of sensitive information, reviewing privacy settings, remaining connected with trustworthy people, and knowing when to seek help when there are clear signs of danger. Peace does not come from believing that you are invulnerable. It comes from knowing that you are not alone and that there are always reasonable steps you can take. Michael, I'm not teaching you to view others as enemies merely because their behavior is difficult to understand. I am teaching you to keep boundaries without condemning, to remain cautious without becoming suspicious, and to be strong without allowing your heart to become bitter. You may choose not to speak with a neighbor, and you have the right to keep a respectful distance. You may choose not to share your personal schedule, and that is entirely appropriate. But you do not need to turn their differences into proof of a conspiracy. When you do not know something, allow yourself to say, I do not have enough information. This is not weakness, it is honesty. Your strength is not found in making others uneasy or becoming impossible to predict. True strength lies in your ability not to be pulled by fear. A steady person does not need to imagine that everyone is paying attention to them. They live with order, fulfill their responsibilities, preserve kindness, and respond according to facts. When they encounter an unusual situation, they do not panic, they investigate. When they encounter inappropriate behavior, they do not retaliate. They establish boundaries. When they notice their mind repeatedly returning to a fear without new evidence, they speak with someone trustworthy rather than continuing to suffer alone. Perhaps lately you have been sleeping poorly, frequently checking the doors, watching your neighbors, or feeling that you are being noticed. If these feelings continue and make normal life difficult, receive them as a sign that you need support, not as proof that frightening events are definitely taking place. Speak with a calm family member, a mental health professional, or a doctor so that you can receive a more objective perspective. Seeking support does not weaken your faith or strength. Sometimes the guidance I give you comes through someone trained to help you untangle anxiety and recover a sense of safety. My beloved child, do not allow your mind to become a room where every sound is interpreted as a threat. Open the window and let the light of truth enter. Write down what you actually see and separate it from what you assume. For example, a car was parked outside my home 3 times this week is an observation. They are watching me is a conclusion that requires evidence. This separation will help you recognize when action is necessary and when you should allow an ordinary event to pass. I do not deny that you may sometimes encounter someone with harmful intentions. But even if that happens, you still do not need to live in obsession. Protect your information. Maintain distance. Preserve evidence. And use lawful channels. Do not try to read another person's mind. Do not decide their motives without facts. True motives are revealed through consistent behavior, not through one look or one strange day. Truth moves slowly but firmly. Fear usually pressures you to reach an immediate conclusion. Therefore, continue living in peace. Clean your home because you value where you live. Protect your information because you understand the importance of privacy. Change your habits because you desire greater health and order, not because you believe a secret group is trying to interfere. If something specific happens, you will address it wisely. If there is no clear evidence, refuse to feed stories that disturb you. I am beside you to bring you back to truth, not to make your fear grow. I want you to be alert while still able to rest, cautious while still able to greet others normally, and firm in your boundaries without turning your home into an isolated fortress. You do not need to prove that you are stronger than anyone. Simply live with integrity, care for yourself, and seek support when needed. Your peace is not preserved by suspecting everyone. It is preserved when you trust evidence, choose wisdom, and refuse to allow anxiety to write the story of your life.